Okay, um, this is just a quick kind of update on the Sherwood video. Hopefully it's a little better quality. Um, there's been some questions about this particular function on the Sherwood regulator. So this is a Sherwood SR2, and I still stand by the fact that this is a nice regulator for the money. I've seen it at full retail. I think full retail, I've seen some shops asking like $600 for it for the first and second stage. It's not worth $600. For that, you can look at Atomic or Scuba Pro, or there opens up Poseidon. It opens up a lot of regulators at that price point, and it's not. I'm sorry, Sherwood. You make a nice regulator for the money, but it's just you can't compete with Atomic. It's just and even Scuba Pro. Although the ones I'm a little more familiar with are Atomic. That said, I was at a dive shop recently, and this regulator, brand new, was sitting right beside an Atomic. I forget which one. It doesn't really matter. It's a stainless steel one, I think, but I'm not sure. So the Atomic regulators, beautiful regulator. I might see one in my future someday, hopefully. But they use the very similar adjustment knob. It's almost identical in the way it looks and the way it operates. However, if you take a brand new Sherwood SR2 regulator and you open it up and get ready, hear that? That is the way a brand new one's going to sound too, pretty much. Maybe not squeak quite as much, but it's going to have some friction. It's going to have a little bit of trouble closing and opening. Now, go to the Atomic. It's like butter. It's just butter smooth. You won't hear a thing. Hey, let's be honest. I mean, Atomic is using some better materials. I don't know what kind of fancy metal they're using in the threads. They've machined it nicer. They've treated the surface better, etc., etc. It's just an all-around better quality regulator. But it's generally quite a bit more money. That said, I had the same problem as the gentleman who was attached to comments about this sand getting in this adjustment knob. But it's kind of what the video is about. What I do with it. For me, I don't shore dive much anymore, so getting sand in the regulator isn't something that happens to me too often. But I do get salt in there. And if you don't rinse it out properly, yeah, you'll get some salt, stuck inside here. So first thing, hey, flush it out after you dive, which you should be doing anyway. However, even still, if it's opened up like this, and I'd mentioned in the comments that if you can think about it, close it before you get on the shore so that you limit the amount of sand that you might get in there. But if it's open, you might get a little bit of sand in there. You might get a little bit of salt that sticks inside. Salt's a little easier to deal with, assuming you do it quickly. Rinse it out with some, warm water, and you'll just get rid of the salt. Sand, a little bit more of a hassle. Here's what I'm recommending, and full disclosure, I have no idea what your local dive shop's going to think of this. They're probably going to tell you that as soon as you take any tool to your regulator, you voided your warranty. So I don't know. Yeah, this is on you. You've got to decide if this is something you want to do yourself, or if you want to get a local dive shop to do it for you, and maybe and they do a more thorough job. They take the whole thing apart and do it properly. They should anyway. And if they're not willing to do it, call Sherwood and complain. Like Sherwood will take care of you, I'm sure. What I do, this is a standard bike wrench, by the way, but you need a 4mm. I think I said 3mm in the comments, so apologies. It's a 4mm hex wrench. Put it in the end here. If you haven't unwound it all the way, just keep turning it. You see how it just kind of turns it until it keeps going, and now the threads are coming out, right? Out it comes. It's just there's not that many threads. Simple little hex bolt that comes out. There might be something on these threads you can clean. And I hope this goes without saying, but you can't put anything on the threads. It'd solve some problems if you could, but you can't, right? You can't go put grease on here or lubricant or oil or anything. You can't do that, okay? Um, and if you don't know that much about regulators, then you maybe really shouldn't be touching them at all. But I mean, you just you can't go putting stuff on them. So this knob just comes off, right? Just it takes a little bit of effort sometimes, but just kind of wiggle it off. Out it comes. It's just held in there with some detents. You can kind of see that it fits in these little detents here. And then it's held in place by this little top cap. That's that. So with it opened all the way, so if I hadn't opened it all the way, there's some external threads you can see here. I clean those out, and I just take a can of compressed air, blow it in there. The insides, you can see all the threads inside, same thing. Be a little more careful in here because there is a gasket in there too. Just kind of blow that out. You can rinse it out with some water if you like. And do the best you can with cleaning out the threads that you can see now, right? With it exposed all the way. Yes, there are still some threads inside here that you'd have to take the thing apart to get to, which I'm not recommending you do, especially for a new regulator like this. You shouldn't really have to do that. And if you got a problem with it, if that still doesn't solve your problem, then I would definitely look at sending it back to Sherwood or getting your local dive shop to deal with it. So that's it. I would just open it up all the way, and that's how loose it should be. You should be able to open it with your fingers, right? You can still hear the noise, right? It's. And sorry, folks, it kind of is what it is. Like I said, I've looked at a brand new regulator, same story. Probably some of them are a little better than others, but that's kind of it. And put the cap back on again. Take your little top cap, put it back on again. Take your 4mm hex wrench, tighten it, easy, not very tight at all. That's it. There's still noise. It is what it is. It still works. I've never had any problem with it after I started kind of cleaning it a little bit and being the main thing is prevention. I'm a little more careful when I leave the water now that I make sure maybe I open this up and rinse it a little bit, or I close it before I get out of the water to try to prevent some of the stuff from getting inside. But I've never been able to get rid of that little bit of noise. It's just that seems to be the way it is. So I hope that helps. Otherwise, I think it's still a really nice regulator for the money. I think it is. I love how light it is. This mouthpiece you're going to want to replace almost immediately, by the way, like I did. I just chewed through it in like 3 dives, I think. But very nice regulator, very light. But hey, let's be honest, it's not on the same quality level as an Atomic. And if you're interested, just to kind of see, if you're looking at regulators, that's something you got to decide for yourself. Like, how important is a buttery smooth operation for this adjustment knob? How big a deal is that to you? If it's important to you, have a look at Atomic. It's the same design, basic design concept, but it's night and day difference. It's it's the difference between a Rolex and a Seiko. Come on, they're both fine watches for what they are, but it's the craftsmanship that's gone into the Atomics is pretty impressive, really. That's it. Hey, Seiko's a great bang for the buck watch, and Sherwood's a great bang for the buck regulator, and their high performance regulator is the best they've made, in my opinion. And I said in my previous video, the original SR they come out with had some issues. I kind of forget what they were, but people had some problems with them. I've never had a problem with this. No, I've never done any crazy diving with it either. I've never dove with it technically yet. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. But for basic recreational diving, I've had it below 100 feet. operated perfectly fine. Worker breathing's very nice. It's super light, like I said. So if you're down there for more than an hour or so, it won't bother your jaw too much. So hey, it's good news, bad news kind of deal, right? So, but if you can get this on sale, you can get a decent price on the Sherwood SR2. I still recommend it as a good value buy. I still like it. Okay, hope that helps, and give me any comments if you have them.